Suzanne is with us, and Suzanne, you got something. Ginny's Enterprise. Is it Guinea's Enterprise or Ginny's Enterprise? It's a loss of
Ginny.
innocence story set in the 60s Cold War.
Yeah, it's Ginny's Enterprise. That's just a name that I thought suited the title and suited the character.
And I'm glad it's about the Cold War because everybody's kind of going back to that. Like, I'm looking at the news and I'm going, man, you don't get it. We're going right back to that. We're talking submarines. We're talking, like, I show my mother some film and I said, Mother, do you know what this is about? Because she sometimes misses it. What's your story about?
Yeah, it's a coming of age or a loss of innocence story. It's set in the 60s when I think we were still suffering kind of a hangover of xenophobia and racism from the World War II. And it was a sort of a high intense time where people were kind of, well, as a kid, I was always afraid, at any moment a world leader could push a button and we'd be just poof, gone.
Yeah.
So it was an intense time. Yeah, so this little girl is subjected to the same things, but she's also got this extra problem with her parents and her brother because this particular family is favoring boys, and she comes to the realization that the rules are different for girls.
Got
and
it.
but she's, so she's starting to realize, well, her brother gets to have a paper route, her brother gets to have money of his own, but she doesn't. And so her mom sends her on a little errand. I kind of call it the store trek. She goes off to the corner store to buy some eggs for her mom, and she gets waylaid. She starts to get distracted. But the only way that she kind of copes well with this kind of oppression that she's experiencing at home is to get into her fantasy of Star Trek. And so when she's outside and she's free of all of the kind of constraints of her home life, she's in her own world and she becomes the captain of her own world. And so it's a very empowering kind of notion that this little girl has got the seeds of her future self already there.
Okay, well, I look, it's something that I think, and you hit on some subjects that I guarantee. I've been watching. I'm not gonna lie, my mother loves Netflix. She loves Tubi. She loves like stories about this. And then I go, Ma, you're not about that though. She goes, I don't care. I like this person, and I'm like, okay, I don't understand what that is. Well, what is it that Because you said, okay, a woman. And my mother is one of like a lot, and she was the oldest, right? She has brothers, so there's something about that they understand something that sometimes, and some would disagree with me, and I get that, but I guess the point is, this story hits home, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe your mom was a member of a large family. I was a member of a large family. It's not an uncommon dynamic because back then, like even my parents, and this is about intergenerational trauma too, like having your needs met. Like my parents were in the First World War, or they were in another war, and they suffered PTSD, and it was translated to the kids in different ways. Like they would bury their emotions, they would bury their problems, and they would just fester, and they would erupt in things like just sudden anger or something, or it was just a constant threat of like not threat, but like a constant sort of frustration for them. So I try to kind of show this in the adult characters in this film compassionately, because they were subjected to the oppression of their era as well. And it's a story about how somewhere along the line somebody is going to recognize this and break that link, that chain, and that's what this little girl does. And essentially, like, she becomes an adult. When she becomes an adult, she becomes the captain of her own ship. She's a professor of women's studies. She's kind of a rebellious person. She kind of had to rebel against the kind of patriarchal upbringing that she had. And she wants to help others. But what she doesn't realize is that she's still carrying that PTSD. And she gets herself into some circumstances because of that. But this is kind of alluded to in the film. It's a short film, but it's kind of a proof of concept for a series. And in the series, it's all about the adult Ginny.
Well, I love it, and I guarantee Netflix is going to take it because they're looking for stories like that, right? And I say this, and I don't think people understand until you go, like, okay, Russia, Ukraine, other areas which are having bombs all over. You're seeing it like front news right now. If you just turn on even Instagram, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS. I'm for all, even though you see the logo there. But here's the thing, and people don't understand. It does do something to the people of the generation after. Like I say, there's so many stories going to come out of Ukraine, right? Of the young women. I guarantee there's going to be stories. And then I like your story because she goes through it, but then she has a like, is that why you wanted a series? Because it'll get there eventually, like, okay, where she goes, because there's a lot of stories like that too.
Yeah, like she's put in kind of a situation where she has a distressed student that comes to see her, and she can't help herself but to try and help this young woman, even though that's not really her job as a professor. She's supposed to advise on curriculum. She's supposed to, teach what she's expected to teach. But then she sees this opportunity to kind of help this person get through some trauma, some distress. And then the student is kind of like, well, that really helped, and maybe you could help other people. And then it sort of goes down that road that she's now put herself in a position where the word gets out. And next thing you know, she's kind of running this little enterprise that isn't really legit. And it's a complication of her own scars, her damage, and she's buried it herself. So now it's starting to come back to the surface, and she's not coping with it very well.
Aha, got it. Yeah, sometimes it just, but you know what? Good story. Can't wait to see it, and keep it going. Okay, so we're looking forward to it. It's at La Femme again. Can't wait. And what's next for you?
Well, I'll keep trying to get the series underway. I've taken some pitching workshops, but I also have a third. This is my second. Jimmy's Enterprise is my second short film. I have a third script that's in development right now. That's also about a female empowerment story. It's called Baggage, and it features a protagonist who's in her 80s. And she has a self-discovery, and she uncovers her past and her traumas as well. Wow. There's a real solid theme running through my stories that is all about rediscovery and coping and learning and growing.
I like it. I like the lessons and then the drama. She's watching one where like there's a guy involved, then there's another guy involved, and then she's got to choose between the guys. But one of the guys married, and you're like, would you do that? She's like, I'm gonna do it, but he's pretty handsome. I go, Ma, so anyway, they're all over the place. But keep it going, okay? And we can't wait to see it in person.
Great, me too. And your mom sounds fascinating. I'd really like to meet her, actually.
I don't think I want to let her out. She's got some weird, but you know what? Maybe she has a story. I guarantee it. Maybe you can help me write it. I don't know. All right, thank you very much, Suzanne, for spending time with us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Maria is here with us, and man, Maria, you got a subject here. I just read it and I said, whoa, because the title just doesn't say it. It's called Vita, but it says in a dystopian, there's a sterilization that happens, and then it helps, I don't know who it helps, but anyway, population control is what they call it. What's it about?
So Vita on the surface is a female-led action film. Underneath, it's about female empowerment. It's about the many women of color who have been forcibly sterilized in this country. As early as 2021, there were a group of women who were being held in an ICE detention center in Georgia, and they were being sterilized without their consent. So, the U.S. has a history of sterilizing women, especially Latina women, women of color, without their consent. So the story is about, giving women their power back. And that was my inspiration for this film.
Okay, well, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a hot topic, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like. Okay, I'm one of those where I know a lot about a lot, and then sometimes one goes, hold on, I better ask that, because you said the U.S. has a thing with sterilization. What do you mean by that? Because I've seen like certain other countries, Asia's one of them, and people know this. They said, look, you can only have so many because and then other countries do that as well. They don't always talk about it, but it does happen. They control how many, and they say we don't have enough. And I go, dude, you have a lot of land. Seriously, I don't get it. But what happened in the U.S. that the people go, how do you not know that? How do you do what you do? I go, dude, I do not know everything. Help me out.
Well, like I said, in 2021, when during the last administration, and a lot of Latinos are being held in so-called cages. They were being detained in ICE detention centers. So this group of women were being sterilized and were going in for any kind of female OBGYN issue. And there was a specific doctor who was sterilizing without letting them know. Thanks to a whistleblower, he was stopped. But also in the 1970s, if you, there have been a couple of films about it. Latino women were also being forcibly sterilized without their consent. It's happened in our, in our jails. So it's not uncommon. I think it's just not a story that's often told.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, and we talk a lot about that. And I somehow missed that story, but and I'm gonna ask this stupid right now. I'm so sorry, because I know there's ways to like if I'm a guy and I don't want kids, I could do that. That's elective, right? I can get what they call a vasectomy. So if you say there's a person or a doctor, was he doing it on his own? Was he told to do this? Because sometimes that happens. And then what was the process? Because some women, they I'm done with one, and then they do that. That's called, they choose, right? They choose, I don't want any more. And some say that you get I don't even know what the correct term is, but for a guy, it's a vasectomy. What is it for a woman?
So for instance, a woman will go in for, say, a cyst or some kind of, menstrual problem, and they go in and the doctor does a full hysterectomy and doesn't let them know. They do it on their own. They do it without telling the women they're doing it, and they do it because they believe these women should not be having any more children.
See, I know that there's a way to tie it down, and then you could reverse that if you want to, because I remember there was one, and they said, I don't want to be in the hospital for longer than a day. And I said, okay, that makes sense. And they said, why don't you do it? And I said, dude, I might want kids. I don't know. I want that option. Then I talked to someone, and he said, well, anyway, it's not about that. A hysterectomy is very big. So you're saying that he would just do it because there's another way to, but okay. And then people go, well, do they inject something? Do they do something? Because that's something that should never be done. That I would be upset,
Right. So, again, these women were going in for a different procedure, and then they were being sterilized. So, it does happen. It does happen in this country. And it has happened to women of color. It's happened in prisons. But I didn't want to tell that trauma story, especially when the world was so heavy in 2020. I didn't want to tell a trauma story. I want to tell a story about female empowerment. And so when I created the story, I created it in a dystopian world, and I did it to give a women agency, make them heroes of their own story. I wanted to tell it in a way that it just empowered women, and it didn't make them victims, and made them heroes.
Well, I love it. Anything. Well, Hunger Games just did another one, and I'm like, whoa, because that's dystopian. I for a while, and I did another shows on NBC, and somebody said I love dystopian stories, and I go, what's dystopian? And I have no idea. Then all of a sudden, Hunger Games came out. I said, oh, dystopian. I have theories about that, but what is dystopian?
Well, the story takes place in 2053, when the world is ending. The power, the electricity, all of that is out. So they're in the world to fend for themselves. It's about the world coming crashing down. Climate change has affected the world. So it's a lot of those elements that end the so-called world we live in now.
Where we're going, but anyway, and right, I love that you cover this, and I'm glad that you because you mentioned the story, and thank you for adding that perspective, because I get a lot of people, and if I said that in a group, they say it doesn't happen, I go, you don't know Maria did her research, okay, so she said this happens, so therefore it happens, and so that's, and I think even back in history, whether it's not about this, or it may be about this. I guess the point is, I think women need to know this, and it covers that. And I think even like some other movies cover this, but you go, that's not going to happen. You go, it does happen. But then they go, it happens in the US. You go, that doesn't happen. And it does happen. So when people say, I have a right, yeah, you have a right. But it's weird because now I have a question on hysterectomies when they actually do that. Because I know sometimes it's necessary, but when it's something that they just do out of, I didn't like. Anyway, I guess I got questions on that, but Maria, we don't have a lot of time. But look, people need to see this. It's awesome. It's really good, and it's a great story. Vita is what it's called, and it literally in the description you put in a dystopian LA. They're being sterilized as a form of population control. So that's there you go. That's so obviously. Don't be in a dystopian era, right?
Yeah, again, those stories should be told. I just wanted to tell it in a world where, in a world that was in an action, adventurous story. So we can still tell those stories, but they still have the underlined story of humanity and power for women.
Yeah, keep going and don't let the guy do that. My God, run! And I love the name Vita. I almost wanted to fight back and say, "I hate you," and then fight for everyone, right? But anyway, keep going with what you're doing, Maria. I can't wait to see it, and thank you for bringing it to La Femme.
Thank you for having me.
All right, more after this.
Bye.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We have with us Veronica. Veronica, look, great job, by the way. It's called Imposter. And then it says the series, Imposter. Can it be a film, or do you want it as a series only?
Well, we already shot the whole first season. So as of right now, it's definitely a series. We have 6 episodes. Each episode is between 6 and 11 minutes. So the total series is 50 minutes. Yeah, I think we could turn it into a movie, but right now we really like this episodic structure for it.
Yeah. And you know what? It's episodic. Everything unlike everything, right? You go Game of Thrones. You go like everything my mother watches is literally episodic. So good job. And here's what I say, because you got a lot of people love this, right?
Yeah, we've world premiered at the Oscar qualifying Holly Shorts Film Festival a month ago, and since then we've been in 7 festivals and we've won 3 awards, including Best Series just last week at North Hollywood Cinefest. So we're really excited with the recognition we're getting.
Yeah, and you know what? That's difficult. That's difficult to get that many awards. What do you do with them all? Because you got to put them somewhere.
Yes, they're on my kitchen counter. I'm just creating a little shrine.
That's good. That's a reminder. Now the team you put together, you going to work with them again?
Yes, I'd love to. We've been working now for a few years, so they're more like best friends / family because we talk all the time, and there's just a lot of trust that we've built over the years, and we all have each other's back. So I definitely want to work with them again.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see it. I probably will be a fan. Where do I go to get more if I want to be like, oh, another season, ready to go?
Gotcha. I would follow us on Instagram at Imposter the Series. I would check out our website, www.impostertheseries.com. And yeah, I would say that's it. Right now, the episodes are only in the festival circuit, and we're looking for distribution. So they're not out to the public yet. But
got it.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, that's good. Well, people, that's why you come to La Femme, right? And if you're around the world, just send out the link, Eventive. It's right there. Let me bring it up really quick so that you know how to click on it. And then you can watch it right away. It's lafemme.eventive.org. Films. We do a hybrid. It's called a hybrid. So we're going to do it in person. That's where you got to come out and partay, and then you're going to have fun online with them. We should do like a little streamer when we're doing it there, or maybe not. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Adam is in the back going, please don't. We're so busy with stuff because we have an awards night. So you're going to be at the awards, right?
Yes, of course. Well, I'm a LA local, and our whole team is LA local. So we'll bring the whole family to the theater.
Okay, I can't wait for the awards. There's so many people like me, and then they're all gone. And I go, dude, I want to meet you. So anyway, keep it going, keep doing. And Veronica, look, I know you got a lot of things in you. I think you got a lot of stories. Is there a story coming out next?
I'm currently working on a feature film script about a young sailor, an Italian young sailor, because I used to be a sailor myself in the national team. So I'm writing a film kind of based on my experience back home in Italy, which is where I'm from.
Hold up, that's a story right there. Okay, hold on. I thought you said sailor because I go, a lot of people are going to war right now, but you mean like a sailor, like competition, like is that the one where you lean back or you lean forward and then you go and you move everything around and you get hit in the head? Is it that or what's going on?
That's exactly what I do when I'm on a sailboat. Yeah.
That's amazing. Right. And they're very expensive, right?
Depends on what boat you have, but it can get very expensive. Yeah, for sure.
Do you win a lot of money?
You know, that's why I was like, let's go to Hollywood instead, because I don't know how lucrative this is. Yeah, so it depends what level you're at. But when I was doing it, I had not become pro yet. I was in the national youth team. Yeah.
The fact that you do that, do you know, like, okay, there was a movie and I think it was called White Squall, and love it or hate it, they're out there. But you when you're out there, do you ever check the weather and you go, not good? Or do you feel it in your bones? Because that's a whole other type of, you know what I mean?
Yes. I'll see clouds and I'll be like, oh, there's a storm coming, or like, oh, we're about to get rain in like 5 minutes. So you just get trained in understanding the weather very instinctively, and you start understanding, oh, that's how the land is in that area, so there's going to be more wind over there. So you just start having these instincts because you're just so trained to understand what the wind and the weather does.
I have questions. I think you have answers. I think you have something like a history. Is on your mother's side or your like whose side is it where you get like, because that doesn't just like, it does come sometimes, but sometimes there's a history and you go, oh, there's something there. Then some people go, is that another life I lived? Do you ever feel like that when you're sailing?
I feel like it's a family thing for sure. My parents, the story goes that when they were 18, my dad sold his motorcycle and he bought a little boat and told my mom, okay, let's try this thing. And then they got hooked. And so they sent all their children to sailing school. And yeah, our whole family has been sailing.
You know, there's a story there. It's a love story. I mean, come on, motorcycle, bike, right? Like she's an adventurer. And then you do that, and then you go, whoa, look where, because I think in the future, you're going to have a boat of your own at some point, right? Is that what you do, Hollywood? Because you're like, this is boring, I'll get to something. And then at some point, you're going to say, dude, I can hire you guys, because you know how to put a team together, huh?
Yes, for sure. So yeah, I'm trying to put together my love for movie making and for sailing. So I'm slowly putting those worlds together.
I think you could do it. And I think you have the hookup, because a lot of people don't have the hookup. Like, for example, if I had a story, and I do, but it's nothing with like squall. It's nothing with like, it's actually something that doesn't go in the water, but it has a moment where you kind of get on it. And then it's not a date, because they always do a date on one of these, right? But it's something where they go, you see that, we want that. And then you got to do everything green screen, because where I go with it, it goes somewhere you don't even know. But I don't want to put it out there because somebody's going to steal it. But the point is this: I think you got it, and I think you need to do it. But I'm going to have like a dragon. I'm going to have an adventure team. And I'm going to have but I'm going to do a modern type of like, what's that one where they do like 7 Seas, or what's it called? I don't know. I'll find it. But anyway, keep doing, okay? And I'm going to keep your contact, because I guarantee I'm going to reach out to you at some point, because I need that. I need access to that, okay? Because you know the people that know, right? Okay, so here's a question that I have for you. Keep it going, obviously. Keep doing, obviously. Okay, if you could tell a story, I know it's about this particular, right, that you just like put into La Femme, but let's just say, because La Femme is all about women, right?
Yeah.
Would you give access, maybe? Because I think it needs to get out there. Because I had someone, he goes, I want to buy that boat. And I said, do you have the money for it? He goes, I have the money. I said, okay, you must have money, because they are worth a lot. And some people live on it. But I go, this is not that type of boat. This is the kind that go in and it goes fast. How fast does it go? Because they always go knots. But what is because I go, how fast do they go compared to a car? And no one ever tells me that.
Yeah, I actually don't know what to tell you, because it really depends on the type of boat. It depends how many people are on the boat, so how much weight it has on it. and also how much wind there is. So I don't really know. And the competitions I used to do weren't about the time; they were about how you ranked compared to other people. So we weren't really checking how fast we would go. So I'm sorry, I can't help you.
I need someone to tell me that, all right? Because if you say it's like Ferrari, because that's what they say. They say these are the Ferraris of the sea, right? And I say, well, that's interesting. How fast do you go? But then you say, well, okay, don't ever get like lost at sea because they go so fast you could get left behind. Is that true?
I guess so. Yeah, you got to know your seamanship. So
yeah, because it happens so quick because everybody's like got a thing, and then it takes one, and you go, where's Joe or where's Charlie, and then Charlie, oh shoot, and then they keep going, and Charlie gets probably eaten by a shark because the waters are warm. What's happening with the weather out there? Seriously.
Yeah, right now it's actually the middle of the summer in LA, so I don't know what's going on here. It's so hot. That's why I'm in a tank top. It's actually great sailing weather, so maybe I should go out sailing.
I think, but be safe because there's warm and we're talking climate, we're talking everything. I know Imposter's not about that. Again, for those, because people are going, why are you talking about this? We're talking about like, what we want to see. I go, because there's a film here, I guarantee it. White Squall, they didn't make as much, but they could have, right? And there's other ones that I think are because there's so many things happening in the sea, they don't get talked about, right? There's a lot of legends about the sea. There's things that you see out there. Now it's all about UFOs. Could you do a story about UFO and like sailing, or is that not really what you're about?
Oh, that sounds very fun. I'm not a big genre gal. More of a coming of age dramedy person. So that's what the movie's going to be about. It's going to be about a young girl who's in senior year of high school, trying to figure out what she's going to do after high school. At the same time, she's competing at the highest level in sailing. And she's trying to figure out whether she wants to try out for Olympics or go the more traditional route and go to college. So no UFOs as of now, but I can take the note and see if I can insert some UFOs in there.
If you ever see one out there, Ring is giving like a competition. I know you're not about that, but I guarantee people are going to see them in the sea. They did one, and you need to get with someone on. Where do you sail usually? Is it like on the do you do Atlantic, Pacific, or
Mediterranean or lakes? Lake Como. That's where I used to sail a lot.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, there's something about Mediterranean. They got a lot of money, so keep going with that and get the money for your next film. Right there. Just go sail and go, hey, do you have money? They go, yeah, we have money. Because if they can get that, then they can fund your next film. Okay?
Yes, on it. Okay, we'll do that.
Because you have connections, I guarantee it. Watch, people are going to be like, can I pal with you? All right. Thank you, Veronica, for spending time with us, and good job on the series.
Thank you.
More after this.
Bye.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We've got with us Sharon, Matthew, and look, you guys are doing some great stuff, by the way. I do not want to mispronounce it. People say you do it all the time. Is it Danny or Danny?
Danny.
Okay, awesome. Okay, good. Now, I'm glad I got that right. Thank you. You guys look so amazing all together. Okay, this project, The Unreachable Star, the description is a wartime memory told in the lens of imaginative children. It's a history orally. It's won a lot of things and a lot of mentions. Good job. What's it about?
First of all, Aaron, thank you for having us. So our film is a period piece, wartime story that takes place in the time of Japanese internment camp. And we wanted to tell a story that takes place in that setting through the eyes of the children. So the story actually is inspired by our writer's grandfather. And she isn't here, unfortunately, but we wanted to tell a poetic story around her grandfather's memoir.
Okay, and you obviously like everybody. Now I'm looking at you, Matt. You got something there. What's going on there?
What are you talking about?
Well, there's so much, right? And I haven't seen it, so like she gave kind of a overview, right? But you guys put a team together. How do you all work together? What? Because I don't have any titles here.
I'm the cinematographer. To me, the story is just about two kids trying to be happy under any situation. And like the story starts off them living in a dream world, and we find that they're living in their imaginations, having a good time, doing what they can to just make it. And by the end, we find out that they're locked up in a Japanese internment camp. So it's kind of about the beauty of kids just being kids. And as a cinematographer, my approach in working with Sharon was kind of just talk about the movie a lot, talk about what we wanted to capture, and knew that we were going to have two young kids that are not going to hit their marks. They're not even going to do the same thing twice, if like even once. So it's kind of just finding a frame and letting the kids run where they want to run and just be kids in front of the camera. And that's kind of how we made this movie, how Sharon convinced kids to do what we wanted them to do, but also like play and put a coherent and hopefully touching and thematic story. And it turned out good.
I always say you got to have a good and sometimes a cinematographer is in a way the guy who does everything, right? He's a director, he's a cinematographer, but sometimes the director trusts the cinematographer. Cinematographer is a little bit more than a director because he knows lens and he knows camera angles, and that can be difficult if you're like, I wanted that shot, I didn't get it. What happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get that shot a lot, but we got what we got. And I mean, I just try and support my director and support the actors and actually like not do too much. So this film we shot with a lot of wide lenses and kind of had place for the kids to move around when we could. And
yeah, they say be flexible. I say you don't get it. He has vision. He has anyway. All right. So and that's what you got to get together. And kids, they just do not, depends who you, but yeah, sometimes they have so much energy. You're like, stop the sugar. Seriously. Danny, what's going on there?
So I co-edited the film. I came in after the first editor couldn't complete the film. Her name is Tina Yamahara. And she did a lot of like the legwork and the rough cut. So I came to the project. It was pretty solid. And then Sharon and I and Kelsey, who's the EP, we just worked together to shape the story.
Okay, and I love that you said, because sometimes people cannot complete because they get pulled in another direction. Sharon, you obviously put a team together. And look, Matt, I think you frustrated him, not going to lie, and I think he rolled with it. But good job. For it to be in the film festival, obviously it's good. But I have a question, Sharon. Is it what you wanted all the way? And would you, if you had like millions of dollars thrown at you, would you have done something different?
I think there is a saying that there's no end to making a film. You can always edit again and again. And at a certain point, you have to let go. And thanks to my incredible team, and especially post-team, when Danny came in, we found that sweet spot where we were all proud of the final result. And we were able to put together an inspiring story that seems to be very specific to the time period and the historical event, but ultimately the entire team wanted to tell something bigger that is more universal. So I think we're all very excited to share it with many audience.
Well, Matthew looks like something happened, like there was trauma there. You guys did a lot to make this happen, huh?
That's not true.
I mean, it was a hard shoot. We were in Bishop, like 5 hours outside of Los Angeles, in the mountains, in the grass. It was 110. So I'm just surprised we got any movie, honestly. Not just because the conditions were tough. The kids were crazy. We had kids and animals in the middle of nowhere. We're just standing in front of these mountains at certain points and just are like, what did we get ourselves into? Yeah. How do we get ourselves home and not die? Because it was hot.
Yeah, basically, there's another saying where, there are several things you don't want to do when you're making a film, which is a period piece, work with kids, have animals, and travel outside of the LA zone. And we did all of that. Yes.
You need somebody else with another camera going, guys, this is a film of its own, right? Okay, so what happened that you're not talking about, especially the area? Would you have chosen a different area then?
I think we chose the right location because the Manzanar is a historical landmark, and they were very open to having us shoot there.
Okay.
So we decided to take the team, travel 400 miles up north. 400?
5 hours.
5 hours drive. We found lodging there. We shot over 2.5 days to shoot this.
Well, he still looks traumatized, I guarantee you. Danny, when this came to you, were you like, I got this? Because sometimes it gets a little frustrating. People don't understand that.
Yeah. It took a little bit of time for us to get to something that worked, I think. We were trying different things with the voiceover and seeing who the story was about. And so I think that in the end, using the voiceover and then focusing more on the kids, that helped us get something that made sense for the story. And yeah, I think Matt is selling himself short a little bit because they did get a lot of good footage, and it was enough to, make me help me and Sharon and Kelsey, build something that we're all proud of.
Well, Sharon, good job getting it done. I can't wait to see it. I could just tell by the I've been in a lot of places, and I've seen a lot of people that are behind the camera, and I've seen a thing, and I see it. You need to get more money to make Matthew do next level. I know Matthew did a lot of favors for you, Sharon, because I could tell. Huh?
She's done a lot for me too, though.
He's so nice, Sharon, but she's like, I put you through the ringer. Were there snakes involved? Were there bugs? Were there things you're like, why? I knew it. They never say it, but I could just tell. There's trauma right there. I guarantee you. All right, keep it going. Keep doing. I can't wait to see the next thing that you guys could do. If you could do this, you could do the next. So amazing. Just make sure to go there first, research it, and go, maybe we could change it. Maybe I have a studio you guys can use, by the way. I'm not going to tell you where it's at, but if you want the hookup, I can take you there, and I can show you what they could do, because you can go really long with it, okay?
Sounds great.
All right. We'll meet it up. All right. Everybody go check it out. It's out. It's a project that made it possible. It's here at La Femme, the Unreachable Star. Reachable, is it? I don't know. When you work with kids, you never know what you're going to get. Keep going. All right. We have with us Denise and Diomedes. And Denise, I get it. You got some amazing stuff there, and it's called Camille. And I love this. Now, the question that I have is, working the way how are you two connected, by the way?
Yeah, well, I'm the director and producer, and Diomedes is producer and animation director.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. When you put a project like this together, it's important to get it right, but some people don't know how long of a marriage it is in a way, right? And it's a long time. How long did this take?
So many times. I wrote the script in 2016, I think. So it took a lot of years to have the money to make the project. And then we have the opportunity to produce it by government support in Mexico.
I've heard of that.
2021.
I interviewed them because you have to submit, and then they give you the money to do it as long as you make them look good, right?
Yeah.
I met them at AFM. It's a great event. You should check it out. Diomedes, when you got brought to this, you know, were you like on board right from the start? Were you like, this is how long till it gets seen? Like what, you know?
Well, when I started, I always try to have another partners because I'm not an animator. I'm a writer. I'm a screenwriter, so I need a lot of support. And then it's when I connect to Diomedes to please help me. You have this experience, so that's how he gets into the project.
So how do you walk them along that, Diomedes?
Well, we met before the project started, and Denise came with me and asked me for an opinion about the project, and I liked it. So a few years later, then the IMCINE gave us the funding. So I don't remember. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
in 2021.
Okay, now for those that don't know, this is one of those when you look at it from afar, you go, "What's that about?" Okay, the animation. We got a couple really good winners. Okay, how long is this? I haven't seen it all the way through. I just saw like a snapshot. I go, oh, "That's gonna be a winner."
Diomedes.
I think it's about more or less 10 minutes. That's the standard for an animated short film from the IMCINE. So we try to do the same thing.
Okay, but it looks amazing. If you had the money, would you do a feature length on this?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Have you done the math on how much it's going to take to a feature length? Because I mean, it's just like, dude, I'm out, man. You know how long that took?
Yeah. Well, it's about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and we took 2 years to produce it. So I don't know, for a length, it could be my whole life. So no, I think I want it, but well, yeah, we'll see in the future.
Well, I here's the thing. A lot of people are looking for things that are already done because they don't have to do it again, right? And you already have the look, right? I can say right now, it should be a book. It probably even could win an award because you take some of the screenshots you put into a book and boom, it's a story, right? I mean, do you have suggestions for people that when they start off, you go, can you please have this ready to go so it doesn't take long, or does it always take that long?
Well, it depends about the image that you're looking for, but I guess that we have the luck to have an excellent concept artist for the short film. Well, Denise looked for her before, and with that art, everybody who saw the concepts were so amazed about the project, and well, we knew that that this will be a little difficult to achieve, but in the production time we reached a pretty good close appealing to the original concept.
Okay, well, and you know, look, Denise, I see the little necklace is so cute. I thought it was Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie, but Denise, you love, and correct me if I'm wrong, anything and everything creative, right? But the question is, how did this start? Because I guarantee there are a lot like okay. There's a movie out. It's called Paw Something, and the kids are like, "I love it," and they're so little, they're so cute. But it's called Camille, and I'm not gonna lie, I have a little one. Like you know, I miss her so much. I haven't seen her in a while. She's called Camila, okay, and she's got little curly hair. She's so cute. But this, you kind of went in a direction. I go, I'm glad Mexico is part of it. Now, when they help fund it, they don't own. Like, how do you get it around the world? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's a story that turns into a dark way, and that's how something I really love. I love terror movies, horror movies. So I wanted to surprise the audience at first with a very cute image, and then have a very unexpected final. So when we show this to other persons all the time, it's why they say I never imagined that this is going to happen in your short film. So maybe it could be a little bit something that some persons didn't like, but some in another situations it's a good thing, because the person get amazed from something that they never expected.
Well, I love it. The animation, amazing. I go, how much does it take to go next level on the next project? Because I would do a feature, all right? I would put the money with that, because it's just the style. I guarantee it's going to be copied so many ways, but the style just works. And I tell you, it's a story. I have a story. I would work with you two on it, but keep going with what you're doing, and I cannot wait to see more from you, all right?
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your words.
Absolutely. More right after this. We're here with Christy, and Christy, you got something going on there. It's asking for it, and I understand. I'm looking at the description. It's very interesting. It says a adaptation. It's a satire of a play about reporting assault and not being believed. It's originally written for a male character, but you flipped it, which I love. I love this. Anyway, I want to say it because people are going to steal it, but you flipped the gender to a female lead. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, thanks so much, Aaron, for doing this and for having us talk about our films. I really do appreciate that. So I'm an actor, and during pandemic, I really wanted to keep working and keep busy. And the plays that I found were actually plays that I was really interested in, but they were written for male lead characters. So I wrote a letter to the playwright. I did 2 films during pandemic the same way, and I flipped the genders with permission from the playwright, because there's just been a historical lack of substantial roles for women on screen. And so I wanted to speak to that, but also I really loved the role, and the role was a police officer, and it was published as a male. So I reached out to the playwright, and I was able to find her. It took me a long time. I think it took me months to find her. And I just told her, hey, I really love this play, and I've been doing it in my living room during pandemic, but I think it would make a great film. However, I want to flip the genders. And she said, absolutely. She said she didn't write it for a male police officer, but the publishing house just assumed when they saw a police officer that it was a male character. So she was thrilled. Her name is Raya McCallum, and I owe it to her that she let me adapt this and option it and produce it and direct it and star in it. So now, I'm just excited that people get to see it.
Okay, I have so many questions, and I'm so glad you did that. Okay, because I'm doing something that people go, it's been done. I go, it has been done the way I'm doing it. But then I go, wait, it probably has. Somebody probably took it. All right, but here's the thing, Christy. Here's the thing, and I love that you said that. Okay, because you did something that people go, I wonder. You did the proper route, so you cannot get sued. You went direct. Okay, and that's good. You just want to make sure she owns all the rights everywhere, all around the world. Now, the question I have is this: when you had that, conversation, did it take a while for her to respond? Did you hit her up right away? Did she kind of because sometimes people are a little leery, but it's interesting that you were kind of in her head going, no, I see it as a woman. And she's like, yeah, so do I, but I had to get paid.
Yeah, so I actually did some digging, and I found her on social media. And I found her, and I was like, I really hope this is the right person. So I reached out to her, and she didn't see the message. I think it might have even been 6 months. And so by the time I was able to get in touch with her and plan it all out, this was pre-pandemic, 2019. And there was a lot of challenges there that I won't even get into. But We had a lot of delays, but when I finally did reach her, she was just delightful and so lovely, and I was so excited. And I just wanted her to know that I wanted to honor her work and her written word. That's without the story, we wouldn't even have a film. So it was really important to me to share it with her, and like any changes that I made, like any improvisation, because that's my background as an improv actress. I wanted to make sure that she was okay with every single change, even if it was small. And she was just so amazing. And so when I finally completed it, I was so nervous to show it to her because I just wanted to do it justice, and she loved it. So I'm really grateful.
I love that. I love that you did that, because I say sometimes an adaptation is needed, right? And sometimes, and you know, I know you're independent, so I don't know if you offered like, because sometimes people hold off and they go, I'm only going to do it for a minimum of like millions of dollars. And I go, did you have that? How did you get her to say yes?
It wasn't that difficult. Like I said, like she was pretty excited that I reached out to her, and I think I might be wrong, but I think it was the first time that her play it's a 2-character play, so I think it was the first time that her play was adapted and made into a film. So she was honored. I didn't have much money as an independent filmmaker, but I said, this is what I can offer you, and I'm not trying to insult you in any way, but like I really want to make this happen. And so she was just lovely, and she let me do it. And of course, she owns the rights to the play. It's her play, but the film has been doing really well, and people seem to really like it. And it's won some awards for comedy and acting, and it's really important because the messaging behind it, the social commentary behind it, is so important for survivors of assault, because in no other crime do you report a crime and then the authorities don't believe you. You know what I mean? And like with assault, and we have a lot of assault survivors, obviously, in the world, male and female. And so it was really important for people to tell a tale that wasn't really hitting them over the head, but it was more of a satire, and it was silly. And it was like, this would be ridiculous if it was a hit and run accident and the police didn't believe you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what drew me to the whole thing.
Okay, well, I love that you did it. You went out of something that I say, look, sometimes people say, look, I got a story, I could do it, but you did something and I love it. You gave credit to the person who wrote it. How did you like, what was that moment? I guess the point is like, how did you come across it and you go, oh, I see this as being something else. How long did that take? And then you said, you know what, I'm going to go through the proper term. I'm going to go direct. Because sometimes you go through the publisher. People, they stall this way. Because the publisher, they don't answer at all. You know, or they want like Warner Brothers or someone big like, you know, Disney, or they want, you know, and they go through channels, but then it takes forever, or they put it on the shelf, as I say, because that's going to happen. But I guess it's a question of, because people have been doing this, but I don't know. I just say keep it, do it, and I love that you did it. I'm glad that she was, because some people they don't participate. They say, why? I need millions of dollars. But I think you have something with her that you should say, what else do you have? And we could do it, because she may not know how to put it as a film, but you know how to take anything she does into like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's actually, I'm very grateful that, I feel like I got lucky, you know. I did this once before, and the film is called Guardian, and it was a guardian angel written for a male lead character. And I petitioned the playwright and found him and said, can I play the role as a woman? And I told him all the reasons why that this should be a female character, and it was a guardian angel, so it's fictional anyway. And he was delighted, and I did the same thing. So it wasn't my first time flipping the gender or adapting a play into a film, but I did both during pandemic, which is like crazy. I don't advise it.
Okay.
It was challenging, but I just think I got lucky with both playwrights. And what I will say to what you said is, if you do have an idea, or like I found these plays in a book. I was reading a book of one-act plays, and I was just trying to stay busy. I love theater, and I was just like, God, these would be so fun to do, and I love the message behind them. I think if you have something and you really are drawn to it, you should just go for it and reach out to the person and try to find them. And it won't hurt. You're not trying to hurt anybody. You're just saying, hey, I really love your work. I would love to do this. This is what I have, and just be honest with them. And the worst thing that they could say is no.
You opened a whole world of possibilities. It's called one act, like, you know what I mean? And then I go, but what if you go next level with it and you take it in a direction, you go, what about this as another act and another act, and another act? Now you have a whole, you know what I mean? Because you restarted it. So good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited, and just grateful for the team that came together and made this happen, you know, during COVID, and we were all safe, of course, and just an amazing team. It takes a whole village. It's insane. Even to make a short film, it's so difficult. So I just want to say congrats to all the filmmakers that got into this festival, and thank you to La Femme. I mean, this is just a lovely festival. It's so well organized, and I'm just really happy to be here.
We're glad that you're with us. Keep it going, all right? And keep doing what you're doing. I love this. It's going to open up possibilities. I guarantee Warner Bros. And they're going to hit up every single person because they want to own it. Anyway, good job. Be ahead of it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, more after this. All right, it is all everything and then some. I'm telling you, I'm so glad you guys are together because it is difficult to do everyone separate. But here's the question that I have for you. Alma, it's a Brazilian, I'm not going to say it is an independent film, but it looks really amazing. And then you got original, like everything. What happened here? Because you guys pulled it together.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Hi. Today we are. No. Today we are here with Helena Teza, the main actress, and the producer Dara, and Arthur composed the all original soundtrack of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm doing a little bit of translation for Helena because we all speak Portuguese here in Brazil. Okay.
I want to travel to Brazil. Okay, I got questions about Brazil, and let me ask you this. Let me ask you this for people in the room, right? Because we get a lot of people that watch and they get ideas. They go, "Wait a minute, I want to do it." Brazil has certain incentives, do they not?
Okay, certainly.
They have Brazil have what?
Incentives, to film there.
Yeah, we have like federal incentives that helped us to produce this movie. And that's how theater and movies are made here in Brazil. We normally don't do it independently and neither from direct money. We have like this laws that help us to use tax money from big companies instead of give the tax to the government, they give the tax to us, and then we produce like something like a movie or a play or something like that. And then we have to like pay responsibilities to the government to say, oh, we did like this, we used the money for this and that and everything.
Okay, now, and I'm glad you said that because some people, they don't know that. And I've seen some productions all on Netflix, Brazil. I go, what's happening there? Because they're looking for content from all around the world, but Brazil's really been hitting it big as of late. There's a couple productions that are happening there that are technically like, I don't know, like it's an island. I don't know. You guys got a lot of good stuff. Keep going with that. But you guys, let's talk about this. All right, this project. People, they see the name Alma, they go, what's it about?
Eu vou falar em português. She will talk a little bit in Portuguese and I will translate it for you.
Okay.
Foi projeto que começou com uma ideia minha e da Larissa. The project started with an idea from Helena and Larissa. Larissa is the script writer, together with Ana Rosa, who directed the movie. E aí a gente levou a ideia para Ana Rosa, que é a diretora, e a partir disso a gente começou a criar o projeto e elas começaram a escrever um roteiro. E é sobre uma menina que está se decidindo entre o mundo das artes e o mundo da academia. So Helena and Larissa together brought this idea they had to Ana Rosa, who they invited to direct the movie. And the movie is about a girl who is deciding between going to the university to become a teacher or to become an artist. Então ele é bem visual nesse sentido, porque ela é uma menina que vê muitas coisas de jeito artístico. And in the movie, this girl, she sees the world in a very artistic way. So the movie is very visual, and we don't want to tell you spoilers, but you can see how in the way the girl sees the movie that she probably will become an artist.
Okay, I love it. It's artistic. And I love it. And good job putting you guys together. I love that you speak, and I'm so sorry I don't speak. But I need to learn, right? But here's what I like the world of like everything right now. Everything is being subtitled in every different language. If you look at like the big ones like Marvel and others, they do all the different languages. You could do Spanish, you could do, so many. So keep doing that, and then have everyone see it, and then we'll all have fun. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, keep going, and great job.
Be part of La Femme.
Yeah, thank you.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We're here with Lynn, and Lynn, man, I'm not gonna lie. This title, I want to see it just based on this. I want to go to Tibet. Is it even possible? And I saw a movie about Tibet, but I think you have something here that I do not know. Tibetan Hearts. What's this about?
It's like a Romeo and Julia love story and happened in Tibet.
Okay, and the people don't know about Tibet, but Tibet is very like. How would you describe it?
Well, Tibet is kind of like a highland and very hard to. Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry. Who's calling me?
Just tell them to wait. It's La Femme.
Okay, sometimes it doesn't happen. Yeah, Tibet is a highland in the border, between China and India, and a couple of that's a very highland. A very highland. It's hard people to have access. They physically it's hard, and also has a spatial restriction for foreigners able to travel there. And there is so that's people call it's impossible to make a movie in Tibet.
Well, it's impossible to keep you away from the phone. You're like my mother. My God, leave it alone. They can wait unless this is an emergency. Then please answer it. But Lynn, question. Yeah. See. Okay. So Lynn, question. Okay. Now I love the backtrack. My God, I have a question on that because behind you it means something. Is it? Look, to film in Tibet is very difficult. I don't think people understand. It's very, as I say, mountainous. How do you do that?
Well, so there. I think the mountain is not hard. It's something we can, we can find a way to solve it. But the very hard is the policy. That's why there is no cinema film never made in Tibet. So I got this project because I have different kind of way. We remotely hired a local team, did everything.
All right, so and I didn't know that about. So is that film with who Tibet, not in Tibet? Did they lie? Okay, so here's the question I have, Lynn. Obviously, you have the hookup for Tibet, and you did it independent. Good job. People sometimes don't like that word, but I say you don't understand. That is on the floor, like so. You look. Here's the question. I get why you answer. You're like a mayor over there, huh? You're like a governor or governess, right?
It kind of like that, but it's not kind of like that. I think there is something I have been helping promote a multicultural exchange for past 10 years, and I like to have all the culture has some kind of a way to be shown in the worldwide stage. So we got a investor wants to make some movie for Tibet in cinema level. It's not just video. What they have it's just the documentary. You can see the worldwide, everything's documentary because there is a weather-wise, environmental-wise, mountain-wise, and plus the political restrictions very much. So I created a way to make it is to get all the villagers to us, because also during the pandemic, everybody's locked down, and we only able to get certain people be in there. Luckily, we're there. We cannot get out of the area. We cannot get in this area, even they're locals. So, if we don't make the movie, the investor will draw the money. So we decided to do it. So what we did is we use our WeChat. There is WeChat. We can communicate with the people on site. So we technically changed all the characters, the actors, because they're not able to get in there. So we train basically the villagers to do all the work as the actors. And luckily, our cinema photography team was able to be there already. So that's how we made the movie.
Well, and you worked around a way that I was going to say it's a lot, but you made me think about something. I just go, okay, so basically, if you're going to do something in Tibet, basically write it for the people there. Hope that they love it, right? Because they're very sensitive, like about certain things, and they're like, no, we don't want that out there. So, and I got questions on that movie, 7 Years in Tibet. Okay, I don't think they filmed it there. I think they just said it.
No,
all right.
They never anybody filmed in Tibet.
They are liars.
Yeah, so this one it's a real inside of Tibet. Because we only have a camera there, and everything's organic. But the film, when I watch on the Chinese bestseller, it's a phenomenal. People say it's a masterpiece of the cinema art. It's really good, and so I was like, shocked me out because I never able to be my food on the land, so I use remotely using my WeChat, my radio, like we're talking like right now, and we're talking every day to direct people on site. And then I have it, and when I see the theater, myself, I amaze myself. This is a movie. It's just how beautiful it is. So yeah, I think it's one of a kind. I don't think anybody else able to duplicate the way we did.
Well, and I think you're the hookup. I think people are going to pass this around and go, she is the answer. So I see why you want to answer your phone. So she really knows power people. That's the answer. Because when you get access, I don't think people understand the world of Tibet, okay? Tibet, in a way, is very protective, okay? And they're protective for a reason, all right? There are theories that, like that little thing behind you, it's all gold and lucky. Tibet has gold in them hills. They hide it. That's the question, okay? So that's why they're very protective. They're like, where are you going to go, right? They're very like, Then there's people that go, I have a theory about that long term. And I go, there's a story there. But then they go, no, we're there. You're not there. And I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. So the question that I have is this, Lynn, before we let you go, are you going to do another project there?
Yes, we have 5 projects. We already done the second one. So it's totally signed 5 projects. We want to make 5 cinema movies in Tibet. So the way we kind of the team we worked out looks very good, and they are so lucky. They follow our instruction very, very good, and I'm so happy they like the way I make each one an English name, not to use their real name because they may get the trouble in it somewhere. So they collaborate very well, like 100%, and so I'm. We're going to do 5 of them. So we finished. It's the first one finished. So we finished the second one in the post-production called Wait. And there is another one. Well, totally 5 cinema level kind of quality film. We were doing it. So we want to make the world know, Hollywood is not forgot Tibet. We made a movie in there, but we were remotely guide them through. So just like we're having an interview right now, it's just using your technology, and it's hard. It's very hard, but that's the only way we can do it.
Then you are so smart. You put it together, and I know they love you. So keep it going, okay? And next time, bring them, all right? And then we'll say, hey, we promote Tibet, because I guarantee they're going to want to bring projects there because here's the thing, and people don't understand this. A lot of people did in Tibet.
They're all watching and everything, but they can't be here because they cannot even get out of a country. They cannot even get a visa. No.
That's my point. People don't understand. You need to allow Tibet because you need to stop, because I guarantee people want to get into Tibet, but Tibetans, they're very protected for a reason. Okay. There are them things in the mountains. There's a reason, right? And if they do a scan, I guarantee government knows this. That's what Tibet's like, no, you did a scan. And if you do that story, then they'll do the rest. But somebody's got to do the story. I don't have time, but you have the time. Keep doing what you're doing. All right, Lynn?
All right, thank you so much. I think the LAFIFF gave us the great chance to screen our movie in this festival. We really appreciate it. I think the 8 million of the Tibetan people will really, respect the FIFF. This is a great thing for have their movie, have their culture, have their music, have their beautiful things to explore, to let the worldwide people watching it.
Tibet's got I love Tibet. People don't understand Tibet, but when they do, they're going to say, we do not like that, Brad, but we do love you, Lynn. So keep going with that, okay?
Okay, great. Okay, thank you so much. Aaron.
Okay, thank you. More after this. Stay tuned.